do you feel like the government is helping, like, in terms of like how things are going, like in our day-to-day lives?
Yeah.
You feel like they have any impact on that?
Well,
Or do you feel like?
I've watched from when I think from when I was 10, my local youth centre got closed.
Okay.
And then I've just watched it get worse from there.
My opinions
So
on
I've
this
just seen, yeah, I do. I've seen all sorts of funding being pulled from my kind of area, so I don't see, okay, how do you have this budget? What exactly are you spending it on? And then when you start blowing your mind up with all these questions of what the government's doing, and then you start thinking about all the conspiracies, corruption, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
I just like, I can't deal with it. That's
See,
how I see it now.
You see, one question I want to ask both of you, yeah, is something that's actually been burning in my head, yeah, ever since I heard people saying it. So I've heard a lot of like people say that the youth club thing was really helpful for youth and whatnot, and they've used it in the sense of like helping young minorities escape like crime and whatnot. Do you guys feel like youth clubs were that, how do I put this? Do you feel like there was that good, like we need to bring them back to save the streets?
I would say 100%. I feel like they make a difference. I don't think it necessarily has to be a youth club, but I remember when I'd go to the youth club, some of the people that was working there would give us topics, or maybe topics on gangs, and at the time I didn't realize it. I was just thinking they're just talking to me, but whether you're at a youth club or somewhere else, just having somebody that's a role model to you will make a difference later on. So if you're not going to be at a youth club, what are you going to be doing, really? I would say it makes a big difference. It just depends who's there.
Okay.
But I feel like all of those people can be positive influences.
Because I'm just thinking, innit, with youth clubs, yeah, there's some that I've been to, and apart from like certain activities and whatnot, yeah, obviously it keeps you off the streets or whatever for like a short period of time, innit? Because we used to have it from like 6 till 9, and obviously once that's done, you're back out here, innit? So it's like, I've encountered certain things at the youth club, and I'm just struggling to understand how that influence there is like groundbreaking in the sense that it can help people. But the way you've put it makes sense. Like, it doesn't matter what vicinity it is, as long as there's people that's positive role models in there. But what do you think, Lily?
Well,
did you go to a youth club at all?
I did.
Okay.
I took part in one as well as a mentor kind of thing.
Okay, sick.
So I can see two different examples, because I actually have one of my friends, we were talking about this the other day, and he was involved in a gang, and he actually got recruited at a youth centre.
Trust.
So he was saying it was a way to actually the elders try and engage the young youths into crime.
Okay.
So you can see.
I find it so mad that people say they was recruited into a gang. I feel like it's mad. They make it sound like it's a process or something.
It's kind of like, you know, the process of grooming.
Yeah,
like
of course.
Children are young, so you're easily influenced. So it's not like recruited, but it's like, yo, roll with me, and this is what you can do. And then suddenly you start walking home with, you're having trouble, don't worry, we'll sort it out. And you see those kind of instances. That's what can get people to, you know, sway onto your side. Okay. Because they feel safe. It's a safe environment. But then from my personal experience with, youth clubs, that's where I learned about music. And I had piano lessons, and I had drumming lessons, and I had singing lessons. And I got into passionate hobbies that I liked. And I think it really developed me in a positive way. Okay. Which is why I was saying to you, it was really sad when the funding got cut.
Okay.
And then when I got to about 16, my old school had like a youth club after club, so I started to go in and help.
Got that as well.
As a volunteer with the younger girls, because I went to all girls school. And it was just really nice to see the kind of activities. So they were talking about financial education.
Okay. In the youth club.
In the youth club, yeah. There was different activities.
It's a serious youth club.
Yeah,
still.
they had older.
They have that in mind, boy. Talk about no financial stuff in my thing, boy. They was playing pool. I felt like I was in jail.
It was fun because they had like older girls who they bring in to have talks with them.
Yeah, but that's probably how a real youth club is supposed to be run, isn't it? I feel like that's probably, to be fair, because in the youth club that man had, we had like, let's say we had rock climbing, activities. We had the swimming pool for a little bit. mostly were playing pool. Some people was doing dance. Like,
that sounds fun though. That sounds right. Because I think, you know, what you go to school for is to learn. But when you come out and if you go to a youth club, that's where you really get to build friendships. You socialize. You start engaging in what you're talented. You start finding different things. You know,
I feel like I saw a lot of failed gangsters at youth club, innit? Like I saw a lot of failed older gangsters at youth club, and it didn't really make sense to me because it's mad. Because if he hears this, he's gonna feel some type of way. But keep it rolling. Most influential, you already know. So obviously, like, for example, there was a couple old men in the youth club that I went to, and they used to just tell me about old stuff that they used to do. You feel me? And it's just like, I feel like them trying to speak to us when we was young, we weren't really trying to hear it. Do you get it? And people were just clowning a lot of the people that was there. Like I said, a lot of failed people that was there. Because I'm thinking, if you're this and that, then what are you doing here? Do you feel me? That was my perspective, and I didn't feel like anyone there could actually